My name is Norm Wakefield, and I'm the Executive Director of the Spirit of Elijah Ministries International. And this particular ministry is based on a verse in Malachi chapter 4. Let me read it to you. Behold, I'm going to send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and terrible day of the Lord. He will restore the hearts of the fathers to their children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, so that I will not come and smite the land with a curse. I love this ministry because it is an expression of the gospel. God turning his heart to us, he's the Father, turning his heart to his children. And whenever he turns his heart to his children, then he turns the hearts of his children to him, which is why we're saved. That is the gospel. The family relationships isn't really the big deal. The family relationships is the shadow of the big deal, which is the gospel. And so Elijah Ministries primarily is about taking the gospel, preaching the gospel in many different ways, but the same truth that God has given his son as a substitute for us, as an expression of his heart, turning his heart toward his children. Revelation is the sign of a relationship. So when he reveals himself to a person, it's him turning his heart to them, and their hearts open up and turn to the Lord. And what an exciting thing to see happen. Paul writes in Romans 1 that the gospel is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes. I want my life to be based on the power of God. I want to see the power of God in my life. So I thought, well, if the gospel is the power of God, then if I'm focused on the gospel and the heart of the Father, then I will have the power of God on the ministry. That's how I view Elijah Ministries. It is God expressing his Father's heart to his people, through his people. When John the Baptist came, the Spirit of God spoke and said that John the Baptist was going to be the one that came in the spirit and power of Elijah to turn the hearts of God's people to him, and then to turn the hearts of the fathers to their children. And he had a purpose to prepare them for the Lord. That the key to preparing a people for the Lord is the ministry of the gospel, men's hearts turned to God, and then an expression of that gospel to their own children. So we preach the gospel through our relationships. We're not just doing relationships. As I share the Father's heart with my children, they're watching the gospel be preached. As I love my wife, my children are watching the gospel be preached, not just hearing it. So that when they hear it, it's powerful, because it has life with it. So that's the Spirit of Elijah Ministries, building up the local church by equipping and training men to lead their families and to apply the gospel to life's relationships and circumstances.